What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing 5 things that we have learnt from yesterday's boring Manchester derby. But first, before we crack on with this video is sponsored and brought to you by OneFootball. This video is brought to you by OneFootball. If you want to download the OneFootball app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of my description, which will take you forward to where you can download this app. The OneFootball app is extremely useful if you are a huge football fan just like me. It provides you with the latest footballing news, transfer news, and the latest videos as well. It is one source of information of where I get my transfer news from. It also allows you to see the latest scores with what's happening in the footballing world. If you just click on a game, including any Manchester City game, it will not only bring up the latest team news, but it will also bring up the latest statistics and keep you up to date with everything happening in that game. If you want to download this app, all you need to do is press the link at the top of the description to stay up to date. Thank you very much to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. It is much appreciated. If you do want to go and download the OneFootball app and to support the future content that is created on this channel, then press that link at the top of my description. That'll take you through to the download screen where you can download the OneFootball app. Don't forget also to subscribe if you are new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 15,000 subscribers before the year is out. We're less than 700 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also to check out my social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video and let me know your thoughts of this terrible game in the comments below. So let's crack on with this video and look at 5 things that we have learnt. Now, first thing that we have learned was that game was bloody awful. That was a terrible game. Really boring. Neither team wanted to risk losing that game to try and win that game, and so it just made it a really drab, boring game. Both sides were preparing to wait for a mistake to try and force the issue, and both sides, they made a couple of mistakes, but there wasn't too many mistakes to be made, and I felt like the mistakes weren't being made because neither team was prepared to force the issue and try and force them mistakes, and so in the end, it just made for a really drab, boring game. Now, I've had a really good night's sleep, and all I thought about was that game. That's how bad it was. It was a really bad, unpassionate, is that a word? There was just no passion anyway in that game. It was just a really drab, horrible game. And one of the things that really annoyed me about this game was actually after the game when Pep was speaking about this game and saying that we've come to Old Trafford, we're playing Manchester United, we picked up a point, it's a good point. Well, this, and United fans I'm sure will probably agree with this, this isn't a very good Manchester United team, and it's not a very good, a very well-led Manchester United team either. And so they're there for the taking. The 3 points is there if you want to go and take the game to them and show no fear and really push to try and take them 3 points. I didn't feel like City wanted them 3 points yesterday. I felt like City were just happy with the point and to go into their next game. And considering we're wanting City to try and challenge to win the Premier League, we're not picking up wins against teams that around us and above us, and that is starting to become a concern, because when that is happening, I call it flat track bullying is what City are looking for, and when we're doing that, and it did happen quite a bit under the tenor of Pellegrini, you don't win Premier League titles doing that. You win Premier League titles through being ruthless, showing no fear, and showing why you are the best team in the Premier League, and that means going to any ground, no matter who you are playing, and trying to win that game, and that I didn't feel was there yesterday, and that's disappointing. Really, really disappointing. Don't get me wrong, I don't think a draw at Old Trafford is a bad result at all. I just wanted City to really push for it, and if it had finished 1-1 or 2-2, even the 0-0, if I felt like both sides were really going for it, they just couldn't find that breakthrough, and it was a defensive masterclass from both sides, I'd say fair enough, because they were trying, but yesterday I just didn't feel like there was much effort from either side, and it just made that game a really, really bad game, and so I am a little bit disappointed with the effort rather than the result there from Manchester City. Now, the second thing that we have learned, first half from City was really poor, no incentive, no direction. City creating 2 or 3 good opportunities, getting into positions, wasting their opportunities. I could say the exact same for Man United. They got themselves into a good couple of positions in the first half, and they ended up fluffing their chances and not showing that clinical edge that was needed. However, attacking-wise and creative-wise, I am becoming more and more concerned. With no Sergio Aguero and David Silva leaving Manchester City, that we're just lacking that little bit of creativity, that playmaker in the middle. We're just lacking a little bit out wide with Leroy Sané leaving. Brought Ferran Torres in. He's only young. I'm just looking for a little bit more directness from Manchester City, a player that's going to go out there and get them 15-20 goals per season for City. It just isn't quite there. We're lacking something in the middle and up top is what I feel like, and it's telling near enough every single game, unless we're going up against a team that, quite frankly, aren't a very good team. And so when we're going up against a half decent side, we're struggling a little bit, and yeah, it's there for everyone to see once more. Now, the third thing that we've learned from this game, playing 2 defensive midfielders against a negative side always meant this was going to finish 0-0, and it always meant it was going to be a very negative result in terms of the game. I said very early in my stream yesterday that I'm sensing a 0-0 from the approach from Manchester City and from Manchester United, and looking at the lineups as well. I was expecting United first 20 minutes or so to really take the game to City. That didn't happen. Once City were past them first 20 minutes, I felt like this game was going to coast towards a 0-0. And I did say that yesterday on the stream. Manchester City, Rodri and Fernandinho, I think it should either be one or the other rather than both. I understand why Fernandinho was playing. I wanted Fernandinho to play. I was very happy for him to be playing in defensive midfield. However, I'd have preferred to have seen Phil Foden, Ilkay Gundogan playing in the middle instead, is what I would like to have seen. And I'm very disappointed actually that the changes Manchester City made off the bench. We only made 1 substitute. We've got 3 substitutes. We've got plenty of games to come. Perfect opportunity. 15-20 minutes to go. Get some fresh legs on in the middle and try and change that little bit of creativity. We've got good players like Foden, like Gundogan, sat on the bench doing absolutely nothing. We've got wide players. Benjamin Mendy, put him on. Give him 10-15 minutes. See what he can do. See if he can put in 1 or 2 dangerous balls just to try and challenge United, just to try and put them under a little bit more pressure. I just felt like City looked very settled for a 0-0, and that doesn't eat right with me, I'm afraid. Whilst I said I think a point isn't a bad result, I wanted to win. I wanted to really push and send that statement out, have that sentiment there to try and win, and it's just not there. It's just not quite right, and I've said that plenty of times this season in plenty of games. Just isn't quite right. Pep's come out and said previously saying he's happy with his squad, and I'm just looking how we're playing and I can say, how can you be happy? How can you be happy if it's finishing first in the 2017-18 season, the 18-19 season, seasons where we hit 198 points in 76 Premier League games, to how we're performing now in less than 2 seasons, and say that actually I'm happy with the squad and where we're heading in, because it's not right. It isn't right how we're performing, and so I just feel like there's bits we can do. I feel like there's not only in the transfer market, because that is open next month, but I'm also hinting towards making substitutions at the right time and using your substitutions and showing that incentive that you want to go out there and win and changing it up, and it didn't happen. So I don't know. I'm just very disappointed. I know Manchester Derby is one of the biggest games that I do look forward to in the entire season. Always look forward to City taking on United, and City taking the game to United and us showing them what we can do. And normally under Pep Guardiola until last season, we always take the game to Manchester United. We've had great success against Manchester United. All of a sudden, when he's been hurt on the counter-attack, Pep seems very cautious now. He was treating Manchester United like we was playing Liverpool at Anfield. Liverpool at Anfield is a completely different kettle of fish. Liverpool are an excellent side. They're sides that win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues in the past couple of seasons. Manchester United are not. They just went out in midweek in the Champions League to drop down to the Europa League. They're there for the taking, and we didn't take it to them, so yeah, I'm very disappointed. Now, the 4th thing that we learnt from this game, it was nice to see Fernandinho starting for Manchester City and putting in a shift as well, so that was really good to see. And the last thing, the 5th thing that we did learn from this game is I thought that although we kept a clean sheet, I thought we looked a little dodgy on set pieces than defending. That is certainly something I feel like we can target to defend better on going into the next few games. Got important games coming up against West Brom at home. We've got Southampton away. We've got Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. We've got Newcastle coming up. These teams, and Everton as well, actually, and Chelsea. That'll take us right up into the new year before we have the FA Cup game. And these teams will be watching this game against Manchester United, and they'll be thinking corners, throw-ins, free kicks, set pieces, balled into the box, and try and test this City defence. And whilst over the last few weeks, Ruben Diaz and John Stones have been absolutely dominating in the air, as soon as United wanted to be nice and physical up top and get them balled in, City was struggling with with flick-ons. McTominay missed a golden opportunity for Manchester United. I felt like City just had a mistake in them. Look at Kyle Walker. Thankfully, Marcus Rashford was offside, so that penalty wasn't upheld. A clumsy challenge to be making in the box. I just always feel like that defensive mistake was there, and it wasn't by any stretch of the imagination City's best defensive performance yesterday in that Manchester derby, yet we still come away with a clean sheet, which means I feel like we've been quite negative in this video. Actually, I feel like that is one positive, that it's, I think it does show that City are defensively better than where we have been at, but I do feel like that is now starting to impact in attack, whether that's down to neglect in the transfer market and not getting an Aguero replacement when we knew full well that he's got a niggling little injury which could just hamper him for the whole season. Remains to be seen, but we're just not quite where we need to be at yet. But we move on to West Bromwich Albion at home, a must-win game. I'm wanting goals. I want to give West Brom an absolute spanking. No offence to West Brom, but I'm wanting a good recovery from this Manchester derby. We've still got plenty of games to go, but I am starting to fear that these points that we're dropping, points where I feel like wins were there to be got when we've lost games, and I felt like there were draws there, we're just dropping points, too many of them, and it's starting to accumulate up, and we're going to be struggling chasing the chasing pack if we allow these points to add up. So City, we just need to be very careful that we do start to get a string of wins together. We seem to be winning 2 or 3 games in a row, then follow it with a defeat or a draw, a few wins in a row, then a defeat or a draw, and it's last season all over again, where we couldn't even string 4 wins together in the Premier League consecutively, and that's what we need to be improving on. I'm looking at the next few Premier League games. I'm looking at the games against West Brom, against Southampton away. I'm looking towards the Newcastle game, the Everton game. These are games where there's 4 games there that I want to be winning all 4 of them games, and yet I feel like with all the games being accumulated and the overthinking happening and the squad depth not quite where Manchester City want to be at, and we'll end up dropping points along the way. And they're starting to add up, and so we start saying, what's a successful season? And still, I want City to be in the Champions League, and yet we're still not there. And we're through, what, 11 games of the season now? Plenty to think about, that's what I will say. So there we go, that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do let me know your thoughts of this derby draw, this drab 0-0 draw, in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 15k subscribers, 700 away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated by me. Don't forget also, you can find my social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. And lastly, don't forget, if you are interested in all the latest football news, the latest football scores, transfer news and all that good stuff, go and download the best footballing app out there, OneFootball. Press that link at the top of my description. That will take you through to the download page to download that app. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next Manchester City video, where we will be reacting to the Champions League draw, big poignant part of Manchester City's season. So I'll see you all again tomorrow. So I've been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.